Welcome to the Pregnancy Loss Podcast, the place I created for moms like us. Pregnancy loss is all-encompassing and creates an overarching theme that runs through our lives forever. We have to learn to live with and beside the grief of losing our baby. We have to learn how to live again, how to parent again, how to engage and interact and be social again, how to communicate effectively to connect with our spouses and significant others. We have to find who we are now. I'm here to empower and inspire you to live a life even with our unique circumstances. We cannot change what happened, but we can grow and use that strength and resilience to create a life that we love. I'm here to share everything I know about grief, motherhood, loss, marriage, friendship, and parenting. I'm here to encourage you to find the beautiful side of grief, the side where we don't have to isolate ourselves or suppress the need to share stories, the side where you have moms just like you to support and encourage you. The side where we become the best versions of ourselves, not in spite of our loss, but thanks to it. Pregnancy loss is devastating, but it can also be an opportunity to reflect on who we were and who we want to become. So join me every Tuesday for a new episode on the Pregnancy Loss Podcast. Let's jump in. Hey, love. So happy you're here. We are almost to December. And I know for a lot of us that have lost babies, it can be a really activating time, a really hard time. And it's not just a specific day. If you are new to loss, sometimes entire months can be extremely hard. And then as soon as we get out of that month, we feel better. And it can be strange. And there's not always a reason, even if your baby didn't die in December, if their due date wasn't in December, but for a lot of us, we have the first milestones in December. First birthday, first Christmas. First Christmas is a huge one, or first Hanukkah, however you celebrate. And so all the pictures in our head that we created, that we dream and built in our mind when we would have our babies here with us, those pictures don't go away. And they feel like memories, and memories that we don't actually have. They were just created. That's what happens when you get pregnant with a baby. And anyways, this podcast episode, we're going to dive into talking about creating a safe space to honor our babies. I figured because the holiday season has started and this may be a hard subject, or we really would like to feel safe and comfort when we're thinking about our babies, when we're spending time with our babies, when we're honoring our babies. So let's dive in. I feel like I already need to drink water. So when you lose a baby, you lose parts of yourself that you didn't even know existed. And it's not even that you didn't realize they existed. It's just they were so habitual and so normal for you in your everyday. Sorry, that was my baby monitor telling me it's dying. You lose the version of yourself that you were, that you are, and you'll never be that person again. The loss is so profound and so painfully visceral. Like you actually feel this pain. And it feels like you're dying. Only you're not. Not physically dying anyways. It's like parts of yourself go up in flames. And, okay, this is really corny. But it's something that I just kept thinking about. But parts of yourself go up in flames. And they come falling back down as ash. And it is 100% up to us to rise up from the ashes like a fucking phoenix. And you've lost a person to love. The future that I was talking about that you've imagined and you've planned. And you lose the tangible and the physical ways to love your baby because you no longer have your baby here on earth physically. The ache, this is the hardest part for me, was the ache and the longing for Evelyn. It's unimaginable. It's something that you don't experience unless you lose a baby. And a big part of this is that the natural order of life has been screwed. We are not supposed to outlive our children. Ever. It's just not supposed to happen. But it does. And for us, that creates a friction within us, because now we know bad things like this happen, and that the natural order of things is not actually the natural order of things, and that we have no control over it. But this ache and the longing, it doesn't go away, but it becomes less. It becomes softer. But again, like grief, it just goes up and down and ebbs and flows. It will come back randomly, and it can be hard, and it could feel like it happened again. And sometimes we ignore the longing because we know the truth that they'll never be returned to us in a physical form. So all of this to say, we need to have a place for us to connect with our babies. We need to create a place for us to connect with our babies. We need, I wouldn't say sacred, but we need a sacred place that's ours. Even if we share it with our family and our kids, we need to be able to love our baby in safety and talk to our baby in safety. For some of us, this is a burial plot at the cemetery. For others, it's a place in our home where our baby's ashes are with us. And for some of the earlier miscarriages, you might not have any physical evidence that your baby was alive and that you did carry baby. And I am so sorry for that, because I can't imagine how hard it would be, but also can't, right? Because I do have Evelyn with me right next to me, actually, right now in her urn. We create, so it's like creating an ofrenda of sorts, right? In the Spanish culture, Mexican culture, they have an ofrenda where they put up their family's pictures and things like that, and they honor their family. And it's kind of like that all year long. You have this space where you go when you need to connect with your baby more than just, sitting there and just thinking about them. And over time, that place too, it'll grow. You'll get more mementos. People will give you gifts. All these little things that support our love for our babies. When Evelyn died, I literally could not wait to get her photos from Now I Lay Me Down to Sleep. My photographer, who works as a volunteer through that nonprofit, she was also a lost mom. And when I finally was able to get my photos back, I ordered a ridiculous amount of them, like so many, and it felt like a million different sizes, because I knew that they were the only photos that I was ever going to have of her, besides the pictures that I took on my phone, which was not many, and the pictures that my doula took. And I put them in beautiful frames. I've actually found some really beautiful ones at Walmart. And I created this memorial space for her in our dining room. So our little, I'll call it a little buffet style table. I put up her pictures. I had like the headband that she was wearing. I had a bunch of these little characters and statues and things like that people had gotten for us or that we bought. And it was just a really nice space. And, we could have her there at dinner time because it was right by our dining table. But a few months down the road, I found that I was spending so much time mourning when her stuff was out. So I put some of it away. And I ended up making a small bedside table in my bedroom with her picture and her ashes and the candle that I burned for her and all the little trinkets from our friends and family. And that's not for everybody. There's some moms who will feel tremendous guilt over that. I know I did. I thought, oh my God, who am I to not want to think about my daughter and all of this? But I had to do what was best for me at the time. I found that I was so much more sad during the day when I saw her picture constantly reminding me of my loss. And this was the early, like the first 6 months. But it was constantly reminding me of my loss, and I missed her so much. And I was so much more focused on Evelyn than my girls, my living babies, and my present life. And for me, I knew that just wasn't healthy, and it wasn't helping me in that particular season of my life and my grief. This didn't mean I didn't think about her or want to see her picture or hold her urn. She was with me constantly in my mind, in my memories, and my heart. Obviously, that does not go away. If you know, you know. But I needed to take a quote unquote vacation from my grief, something I learned from one of the books that I read. At least during the days when I was the sole parent, because I didn't have anyone else to pick up the slack so I could sit in my sadness. And that's a story for a lot of us. I'm going to take a drink. Sorry, guys. I feel like a sore throat coming on. It's terrifying me. John would come home when he wasn't on deployment, but again, I didn't have that extra person to, play with the girls, have their routine, take care of their routine, have them stay on their schedule. This didn't mean that I wasn't honoring Evelyn or trying to live on without thinking about her or moving on. That just doesn't happen. I just had to focus on my living babies, and I had to tend to them in the present, in this physical life, in real life, right here. I would often carry Evelyn's ashes around with me on the hard days. When John was gone, the girls always slept with me, and we always had Evelyn in the bed with us. We would just lay there and hold her urn, like take turns. And we would notice how cold the urn was when we first grabbed her to bring her into bed with us, and then how much it warmed up when she would lay with us. I think I imagined us keeping her warm and safe, just like I did when I had talked about my story, and even trying to parent when she was already dead and she was in the morgue, and I just wanted her to be warm and safe. So I kept her clothes on, that kind of thing. Because I thought even if her soul was gone from her body, I still wanted to be able to protect her and keep her. We were stationed in Everett, Washington when Evelyn died, and we knew we wanted to keep her with us. We knew that because we knew we wouldn't be there forever. So burial wasn't a choice that we had, and we didn't want to ship her body anywhere without us. I do know plenty of families who buried their babies, and they have a beautiful place to go and decorate and pray and find solace. And it's such a beautiful ritual. And I know it's definitely healing for a lot of you. So if you need some ideas on how to create a safe, special place for you to take your baby and talk to your baby and just be, here's what I can tell you, and here's some suggestions that I have. One, if you don't have a burial plot or something like that, you can choose a comfy place in your home. You can find a table or a shelf, or build one, or an area where you can put pictures, candles, plants, urns, the little statues, trinkets, cards, and any other special things. 2, you can light a candle when you spend time there to honor your baby and to let them know you're thinking of them and guiding them there. That's what I kind of envisioned it. The light is a way of guiding their souls back so that they can just see us and we can feel their presence. Find a candle with your favorite fragrance, or a fragrance that reminds you of your baby or being pregnant with them. Number 3, have a journal and your favorite pens or pencils there to journal how you're feeling that day, what your emotions are like, how your grief is being felt, if you feel supported, any thoughts you have about your baby or your birth or trauma around what happened. Really just write anything that you're thinking about to get it out of your head. You can also write letters to your baby on special occasions, holidays, or milestones. You can read them on their 18th birthday or any time down the road, really. It's just a really special ritual, and you can also just write them letters anytime. You don't have to let milestones or holidays be the only time you feel like you can do that. I highly recommend you write a gratitude list and include everything you can and really feel into it. Gratitude is the highest energetic frequency, and it will only add to your healing process and really open your eyes to all the good around you. And I found after Evelyn died that I found so much more to be thankful for, and I'm sure you could too. Number 4, have a few books in the space on grief, birth stories, or other stories of stillbirth and miscarriage of moms who wrote books. Anybody who lost babies, but also keep books that empower and give you hope and help you process to heal. Number 5, have a special blanket near you so you can be cozy while you journal or read a book. And 6, you can share this space with your family, your spouse, your children, and you can create rituals with each other. So like once a week, you could read together with your baby and your living children. If you don't have children, you can still read the books that you had bought for them. If you did buy any, read them to them. You can honestly create any ritual or tradition that you want, and it'll be special because it's yours. I have other ideas for memorial gifts. I can leave links in the show notes from things on Amazon that I do love gifting. But yeah, I hope you guys know how much I love you, and I'm so happy you're here. And I'm so sorry for your loss. I'm sorry that you had to lose a baby and that you have to go through this. I'm sorry that you have to spend, life with this grief that's sometimes so heavy. It feels like you're just drowning. I know how it feels. I feel it some days too. And I'm 4 years out. So just want you to know that's normal. But always remember, if you need help, ask for help. It is only a sign of strength. And most everybody around you is going to want to support you in some way. They just don't know how. So remember, tell them exactly what you need, even if it feels annoying, even if you're like, they should know what I need. They don't. And it's okay for us to help them sometimes. So I hope you have a beautiful week. I hope you have a beautiful start to your December. And if you need any support, reach out via email, or you can find me on Facebook or Instagram. I am here to talk to you anytime about anything. All right, Mama. Talk soon. Thank you so much for listening to the Pregnancy Loss Podcast. I hope you enjoyed the episode. I created a guide on 20 ways to celebrate your angel baby. It gives you 20 amazing ways to celebrate their birthdays or ways to just remember them on any given day. If you want to download it, head over to valenweb.com/resources and click the link. I hope you guys have a great week. See you next time.